And the reason why I decided to do this class is because, there's a certain doctrine going around about the birth of the Messiah. Now, depending on who you talk to, the answer will vary. If you ask the question, was Jesus Christ or Yeshua HaMashiach born of a literal virgin? And when we say virgin, we mean a woman who has never engaged in any kind of sexual intercourse whatsoever. Now, most non-Messianic Hebrews, and by non-Messianic Hebrews we mean Hebrews that don't accept Jesus Christ or Yeshua HaMashiach as the Messiah, or who don't believe in the New Testament, most non-Messianic Hebrews do not believe in the Immaculate Conception or the virgin birth. They will tell you that that's Greek mythology. And they'll say that stuff goes with Greek mythology. You got Zeus, and you got Zeus had sex with a mortal woman, and that brought forth Hercules. And they say that's where the story of the virgin birth came from. They say it's all mythology. I've heard that. And then some of the more studious ones will even trace all the way back to Babylon, where you got Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz. See, Semiramis was Nimrod's mother and wife. And he had sex with his own mother and died before the baby was born. Now, the baby she gave birth to was named Tammuz, and his mother, Semiramis, claimed that she was immaculately conceived. In other words, without the aid of a mortal man. And they'll tell you, these zealous non-Messianic Hebrews, they'll say that stuff came from Babylon, and it went from Babylon to Egypt, where you got Isis, Horus, and Seb, that's the same, or Osiris, and that's the same virgin birth story. Then it went to Greek mythology with Zeus, Hercules, and Hercules' mother, and eventually it incorporated itself into modern-day Christianity, and that's how you got the virgin birth. That's what the non-Messianic Hebrews will throw at you. Then you have the Messianic Hebrews who ironically believe in the Messiah and the New Testament, and they will tell you that they believe that Mary had sex with Joseph to give birth to the Messiah. Now, the Messianic Hebrews boggle my mind more than anybody, because the Bible in the New Testament couldn't be more clear on the fact that it teaches that Mary was a virgin that never had sex. We're going to read that, and we're going to be honest with ourselves when we read that. But what I'm going to do for y'all tonight is show y'all beyond the doubt several things. Number one, I'm going to prove to y'all that if Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, whatever name you use for the Messiah, was not born of a virgin, and when I say virgin, I mean a woman that never had sex at all before he was born, then he is not the Messiah. Now that may be okay for the non-Messianic Hebrews, because they don't believe that Jesus is the Messiah anyway. But for you non-Messianic Hebrews, I'm going to show you that if the Messiah was not born of a virgin, and by virgin I mean a woman that never had sex, I don't just mean a young maiden or a young woman or a girl that's of marriageable age. I don't mean that. I mean a woman that's never had sex. If the Messiah was not born of a virgin, my non-Messianic Hebrew brothers, I'm going to show you that you calling the Most High God of the Old Testament or the Torah a liar. I'm going to show you that. So whether you are a Messianic or non-Messianic Hebrew, you're going to have to accept the fact that the Messiah was born of a woman that never had sex, or you're going to have to just disregard the Bible altogether. I'm also going to deal with that word virgin. I'm covering all corners here, because a lot of people try to say in Isaiah 7, that word virgin just means a young maiden. But when it went to the New Testament writers deceitfully translated it into the Greek to mean a woman that never had sex. But originally, it just meant a young woman. I'm going to show y'all those two words that are translated virgin or maiden in your Bible. The first being Bethula and the other one being Alma. I'm going to show you both of those words. And I'm going to show you that Isaiah 7 could very well be referring to a woman that has never had sex. And I'm going to prove that to you. Finally, I'm going to prove to y'all that Mary, the Virgin Mary, was of the tribe of Judah. I'm going to show y'all from the New Testament proofs and a little historical research and show you that Mary was of the tribe of Judah. Now, why do I have to prove this? Because this will prove that Jesus was the seed of David according to the flesh without the need of Joseph. So I'm going to prove all of that to y'all tonight. It's going to be indisputable The only people who's going to disagree with it is just people who just don't want to believe the Bible. Plain and simple. And I'm not just saying that. We're going to read and prove everything. But first we have to understand that the Messiah's coming was a conditional prophecy. It was an agreement. Like Israel had to do something in order for the Messiah to be born. And Israel did not keep their part of the agreement with God. Therefore, they actually blocked the family line for the Messiah to come. I'm going to show y'all that. But first, let's get this started. Let's go to Psalms 132. Because it's amazing to me that this is even controversial. And for my non-Messianic Hebrews who just don't believe in the New Testament, I'm going to show you that you cannot get the Messiah here in the flesh without a virgin birth. It cannot be done. If you try to do it, then you are worshiping a false Messiah. You are following a false Messiah. You are believing in the Antichrist or the anti-Messiah. If you believe he was not born of a virgin. That also goes for my Messianic Hebrews. I'm going to prove that, y'all. You cannot get around this. The Bible is very explicit about this. Old and New Testament. I can really prove the virgin birth without even going to the New Testament. But I know I got Messianic and non-Messianic Hebrews listening, so I'm going to give y'all both of them. So no matter who you're dealing with, after you hear this class, Messianic and non-Messianic Hebrews alike won't be able to touch you. No matter who you're dealing with, right? But Psalms 132, pick it up in verse 11. This is a promise that God made to David. Psalms 132, verse 11. Go ahead and read.
The Lord hath sworn in truth unto David. He will not turn from it.
He said, the Lord has sworn in truth unto David. He will not turn from it. Go ahead.
Of the fruit of thy body will I set upon thy throne.
Of the fruit of thy body will I set upon thy throne. I know all of my non-Messianic Hebrews jumping up right now. Oh, he talking about Solomon. And in the immediate fulfillment, yes, starting with Solomon. Right? But Solomon was a mortal man. What we're talking about here was an ongoing thing. But keep reading. I'm going to show you that. Go ahead.
If thy children will keep my covenant.
He said, if thy children, your descendants. Notice he didn't say, if your children will keep my covenant. This is a stipulation, people. He said, of the fruit of thy body will I set upon your throne, you know, king of Judah, king of Jerusalem, Israel, right? If thy children keep my covenant. And what else?
And my testimony that I shall teach them, their children shall also sit upon thy throne forevermore.
They said their children. So this is not just talking about Solomon when it says the fruit of thy body. It means Solomon and on down the line. It said, if they keep my covenant. And for all of my people who have really been studying the word, they know that the children of Israel broke the commandment of God several times. Right? But the Messiah has to come through this lineage. He has to. So think about what you got so far. God said that David's children will sit on the throne forevermore if the children of Israel keep the covenant. We know that the Messiah is the seed of David, and he is destined to sit on the throne of David. But at the same time, that was a stipulation thrown on him. So how can we get the Messiah here if the children of Israel broke the stipulation? That's what people don't understand. This is what the non-Messianic Hebrews don't deal with. How can we get the Messiah here? I'm going to show you that the God we serve is so powerful, so wise, that he found a way to get the Messiah here, even though Israel broke the agreement. And that's called the virgin birth, sisters and brothers. That's what my non-Messianic Hebrews can't catch. That's what my Messianic Hebrews that want the Messiah to be born of a natural man so badly don't catch. They don't see it. But I'm going to make sure y'all see it tonight, right? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 9. People don't understand it was a stipulation for the kingship in Israel, y'all. It was a stipulation. Things had to be done. Agreements had to be kept. God didn't say, y'all gonna be my king, tribe of Judah. He didn't just say, he said, if you keep my commandments. And we're going to show you that he kept on repeating that. There wasn't just something he told David. Isaiah chapter 9. And pick it up in verse 6. Isaiah 9 and 6. Go ahead and read.
For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder.
He said, for to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder. That means he's going to be ruling. He's going to be a king. Go ahead and read.
His name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God.
The mighty what?
The Mighty God.
The mighty God, or mighty El, mighty Elohim. Right? I'm not even going to get off into how that applies to the Messiah being God in the flesh. That's a whole other story in itself. We're going somewhere else tonight. Go ahead and read.
The everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
The everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. People don't understand that the word Father just simply means, in some contexts, is creator. That's what that means. Because we know that God the Father was never born. You follow what I'm saying? But the word Father is used here applying to a God, meaning as a creator. But like I said, not getting off into that. I'm going somewhere else tonight. Go ahead and read.
Of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end.
Of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end. Go ahead and read.
Upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever.
It said this is going to be established upon the throne of David. David was from the tribe of Judah, meaning the Messiah has to be from the tribe of Judah, a direct descendant of David. Has to be. That's the way it goes, sisters and brothers. Got to be from David. Now we got that. We got David, right? We got to come from David, but David had many sons. Now we got to narrow down which son God was going to let the Messiah come through. Because we got David. Okay, David had many sons. Which son is he going to come through? Let's read it. We're going to take this step by step. We're going to run this all the way down to the New Testament. And we're going to look at a little history too. Let's go to 1 Chronicles chapter 28. Because I'm going to show you that if you don't believe that the Messiah was born of a virgin, you calling God a liar. That's what you're doing. You're calling him a liar. And I ain't talking about the New Testament. I'm talking from the Old Testament. I'm going to show y'all this from the Old Testament first. If you don't believe that the Messiah was born of a virgin, a woman that never had sex, you are calling the Most High God of Israel a liar. You are saying he don't do what he says he's going to do. That's what you're saying. Oh, I know what he's going to go to Isaiah 7. No, I don't got to go to Isaiah 7. I can leave Isaiah 7 out of this class. I can leave the whole New Testament out of this class. But I'm putting it all in, so when you know who you're dealing with, you'll know how to approach either one. Because see, when I teach people in my class, I just don't teach them information. I teach them strategies on how to deal with people too. But 1 Chronicles chapter 28. So far, we reading everything. No controversy, right? Just straight book. 1 Chronicles chapter 28. Pick it up at verse 4 and read.
Howbeit the Lord God of Israel chose me before all the house of my father to be king over Israel forever. For he have chosen Judah to be the ruler.
He have chosen Judah to be the ruler, meaning the king has to come from the tribe of Judah. Right? Go ahead.
The house of Judah, the house of my father, and among the sons of my father, he like me to make me king over all Israel.
This is David talking, right? We know the Messiah got to come from David, right? Go ahead and read.
And all of my sons, for the Lord hath given me many sons, he hath chosen Solomon, my son, to sit upon the throne of the kingdom of the Lord over Israel.
So he chose Solomon out of all of David's many sons. So now we know that the Messiah has to come from Solomon. He has to be a direct descendant of Solomon. We see that, right? Got to be a direct descendant of Solomon. Y'all follow me so far? Real simple, right? We got David. First we got Judah. Then we narrowed it down to David. Now we got Solomon, right? So the Messiah has to be a descendant of Solomon. Right? Got that, right? Keep reading.
And he said unto me, Solomon, thy son, he shall build my house and my courts. For I have chosen him to be my son, and I will be his father. Moreover, I will establish his kingdom forever.
He said, I will establish his kingdom forever. In other words, somebody from Solomon's lineage will always be sitting on the throne in Jerusalem. Provided, go ahead and read.
If he be constant to do my commandments and my judgments as at this day.
If he be constant to do my commandments and my judgment as this day. Do y'all see the stipulation that God putting on this? God ain't just promising Judah kings, people. He's telling them, I will let you have kings if you keep my commandments. Did Solomon break the covenant? Yes. Read 1 Kings 11. He loved many strange wives, remember? And he started serving the God of these women. And God rent the kingdom. So Solomon broke the covenant, right? So God kept on trying to deal with all of these lineages that came from Solomon, who got on the throne to be king. He kept telling them the same thing. Look, man, if you keep the commandments, keep my covenant, I will let there always be a king from Judah on the throne in Israel until we get to the Messiah. That's what we've been trying to do. But Satan has been trying to prevent the coming of the Messiah since he was prophesied to come in Genesis. People don't even understand that when he was talking about the seed of the woman that's going to bruise the head of the serpent, Satan understood that that meant that the Messiah was going to come and destroy him one day. He understood the prophecy. And ever since then, he had been trying to prevent the coming and birth of the Messiah. And one way he tried to do it was by influencing these wicked kings of Judah to break God's covenant, and therefore he won't be able to make the Messiah come. In another class, we can show you all the tricks that Satan tried to use to prevent the coming of the Messiah. And this is one of them. If I can get these kings to break God's judgment and statutes and commandments, if I can get these kings to do this, then God will break his covenant with them, right? Therefore, there will not be a king sitting on the throne from the tribe of Judah, and therefore the Messiah can't be born as a king and sit on the tribe of Judah, and therefore defeat me. That's what he's been trying to do from day one, y'all. That's why he's been trying to mess Israel up. Because Satan knows that if he can mess up one part of the prophecy, just one part, he can stop the Messiah from coming. Satan is very wise, sisters and brothers. He's very crafty. But he's not wiser than the Most High God. Because God found a way to get the Messiah here, even though Satan influenced the kings of Judah to break God's covenant. And their way, sisters and brothers, called the virgin birth. That had to really piss Satan off. You know what I'm saying? But let me show y'all something. We're going to prove that. Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 9. 1 Kings chapter 9. Because all of y'all who believe that Joseph had sex with Mary, I'm going to show y'all later on that y'all ain't worshiping or following the right Messiah. Y'all are praising a cursed Messiah, an anti-Messiah. I'm going to show y'all that. All of y'all that say Joseph had sex with Mary, you don't even know what you're saying. You have no idea what you're saying. But I'm going to show y'all why. 1 Kings chapter 9. 1 Kings 9, pick it up at verse 1. 1 Kings 9 and 1. Okay, go ahead and read, please.
And it came to pass, when Solomon had finished the building of the house of the Lord and the king's house, and all Solomon desired which he was pleased to do, that the Lord appeared to Solomon the second time as he had appeared unto him at Gibeon.
Okay, skip down to verse 4 and read.
And if thou wilt walk before me, as David thy father walked, in integrity of heart and in uprightness, to do according to all that I have commanded thee, and will keep my statutes and my judgments.
See, here goes the stipulation again, y'all. Trying to let y'all see once again. God did not just say, I'm going to make kings in Israel over from the tribe of Judah. He did not just say that. It was always a stipulation. That's what we got to keep in mind. God didn't just give them anything. They had to keep their part of the agreement too. Go ahead and read.
Then will I establish the throne of thy kingdom upon Israel forever, as I promised to David thy father, saying, there shall not fail thee a man upon the throne of Israel.
Is there a man upon the throne of Israel right now? No. So that means something had to go wrong, right? They did not keep the covenant. Y'all know that. Israel did not keep the covenant. And I'm going to show you that the pathway to the Messiah was cut off. We got down to the last two candidates to be king, and they were cut off. I'm going to show you that. So if you don't believe the New Testament, you have no Messiah coming. I'm going to show you that. You can throw the New Testament, oh, it's garbage. I don't believe the New Testament. If you don't believe the New Testament, you have no Messiah coming. None whatsoever. Meaning you have no salvation, no Savior coming to save you. Nothing. So even if you don't believe in Jesus, you still got to believe in a Messiah, because the Old Testament keeps talking about a Messiah. But if you don't believe that he was born of a virgin, you have no Messiah coming. I'm going to show you that. But keep reading.
But if ye shall at all turn from following me.
He's talking to Solomon. If you shall at all, in any way, turn from following me, go ahead.
Ye or your children, and will not keep my commandments and my statutes which I have set before you, but go and serve other gods and worship them, then will I cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them, and this house which I have hallowed for my name, will I cast out of my sight, and Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people.
And Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people. And in Deuteronomy 28, he told you that was going to happen to them when they went into captivity. In other words, he's telling Solomon that if you and your children, your descendants, will not keep my commandments, and they didn't, then I'm going to cut off them and this house. And they're going to go into captivity to be proverbs and bywords. Let me ask you a question. How can you be a king if you're in captivity? How can you sit on the throne of Judah if you in captivity? And we know that Israel broke the covenant constantly. Nobody will debate that, right? But that's the only way we can get the Messiah here if Israel keep the covenant. And they didn't. So God had to do something miraculous to get the Messiah here. This is Old Testament. We went to New Testament. Yeah, we just reading the stipulations. That's all we doing, right? But let's move this further. Now let's go to 1 Chronicles chapter 3. 1 Chronicles chapter 3. Because we know that the Messiah has to come from Solomon. Right? We know that. Judah, David, Solomon. Right? Has to be a descendant of Solomon. Has to be a legal heir to Solomon. A legal heir, right? 1 Chronicles chapter 3. Give me verse 10. 1 Chronicles 3 and 10. And you can read about all of these kings in Israel. You know, most of them did evil in the sight of the Lord. A few of them did good. But eventually, we got down to the last two. Everybody else failed. Remember we said they broke the covenant. They can't be a king. Right? So you can't count them if they broke the covenant. Right? 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 10. Go ahead and read. I'm sorry, 1 Chronicles chapter 3 and verse 10. Go ahead.
Solomon's son was Rehoboam, and Abiah his son, and Abiah his son, Jehoshaphat his son.
Right? I think you skipped over Asa.
Asa his son, and Jehoshaphat his son.
So now we read about Solomon's descendants. You can read all down to all this on your own time. We dealing with these two final guys right here. These are the two final guys that you read about in the book of Kings and Chronicles and the prophets who were up and who was actually qualified to be kings of Israel, right? Skip down to verse 15 and read. Go ahead.
And the sons of Josiah were the firstborn, Johanan, the second, Jehoiakim, the third, Zedekiah, the fourth, Shalom.
So now we got the third, Zedekiah, the fourth, Shalom, right? Listen to these guys. Go ahead and read.
And the sons of Jehoiakim, Jeconiah his son, Zedekiah his son.
And the sons of Jehoiakim, Jeconiah his son, Zedekiah his son. Now, if you read this correctly, the last two people we were dealing with, y'all, is Jeconiah, who is also known as Jehoiakim, not Jehoiakim, Jehoiakim or Jehoiachin, and Zedekiah. These are the last two guys that you read about, and they are direct descendants of Solomon. It is up to one of them to get the Messiah here. They are the last two, and I'm going to show you that. It's up to one of them to get the Messiah here. Remember what the condition is. You got to keep the commandments. And of course, you got to have some surviving descendants. Got to do that, right? That's the only way. If either one of these guys, if both of these guys messed up, then we cannot get the Messiah here. That's what I'm going to show you. Without something miraculous. Right? Let's move on with this. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 22. Because you got Jehoiakim, who's also known as Jeconiah, or sometimes it's plain Coniah. Right? Let's see what it says about him. Jeremiah chapter 22. These guys were descendants of Josiah, which is what we read, right? Jeremiah chapter 22. Jeremiah 22. God don't lie, right? If God says something, that's the way it is, right? Jeremiah 22, pick it up at verse 24. Go ahead and read.
As I live, saith the Lord, though Coniah...
That's Coniah, Jeconiah, Jehoiakim, Same person. Go ahead.
The son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, with a signet upon my right hand, yet will I pluck thee thence.
He said, yet will I pluck thee thence. He's going to get rid of Jeconiah because Jeconiah did evil in the sight of the Lord. You can read about that in 2 Kings. He did evil in the sight of the Lord, right? Remember, him and Zedekiah are the only two people left. They the only people left, y'all. I hope y'all understand that. But go ahead and read.
And I will give thee unto the hand of them that seek thy life, and unto the hand of them whose face thou fearest, even unto the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and unto the hand of the Chaldeans. And I will cast thee out, and thy mother that bare thee, unto another country where you were not born, and there shall you die.
It sounds like the Most High is done dealing with Jeconiah. It sounds like he broke the covenant, doesn't it? If the Most High is punishing him like this, so already we know that he don't qualify to give birth to the Messiah, right? You know, like through his lineage. But we're going to keep reading why. Another reason. Go ahead and read.
But to the land whereunto they desire to return, thither shall they not return. Is this man Coniah a despised broken idol?
It says, this man Coniah, Jeconiah, Jehoiakim, a despised broken idol? Go ahead and read.
Is he a vessel wherein is no pleasure? Wherefore are they cast off, he and his seed, and are cast into the land which they know not?
He said, wherefore are they cast out, he and his seed, and are cast into a land which they know not? Why did this happen to them? Because Jeconiah was wicked. That's the answer, y'all. But watch what God says about Jeconiah's seeds here. Go ahead and read.
O earth, 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 hear the word of the Lord.
Oh, earth, 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 hear the word of the Lord. This is a declaration. This is a promise. Go ahead and read.
Thus says the Lord, write ye this man child.
It said, thus says the Lord, write ye this man childless. Consider him as having no children. That's what that means. Go ahead and read.
A man that shall not prosper in his days. For no man of his seed shall prosper, sitting upon the throne of David and ruling any more in Judah.
You see what God said about Jeconiah? No man of his seed, meaning his descendants, shall prosper, sitting upon the throne of David and ruling any more in Judah. He said nobody from Jeconiah's seed can rule in Judah. That's what that's saying. That's saying. And he said, write this man childless, a man that shall not prosper. This is a curse he's putting on this man. Nobody who's a direct descendant of this man can ever sit on the throne of Judah. Didn't it just say that? And it never took it back. It never changed it. So that takes care of Jeconiah.
Yeah, he done.
That takes care of Coniah. We cannot get the Messiah through him. We know that. That cannot be done. Because it just said that. Let me read it again from a thick-headed people. Thus says the Lord, write ye this man childless. In other words, write it up like he don't got no children. So he's letting you know right now, it's like he ain't got no children for the sins to come through anyway. Right? A man that shall not prosper in his days, for no man of his seed, nobody who comes from him, a descendant of him, shall prosper, sitting upon the throne of David and ruling any more in Judah. That's Jerusalem. Any more. So Jeconiah is out the picture. We see that, right? No doubt about it. Nobody will debate that. That's what the book says. Don't try to be like, well, what if, or maybe this. Nope, the end. Can't get him through him. Messiah cannot come through him, right? But let's take care of the other guy. Let's go deal with Zedekiah. Let's see what happened to him. Let's go with Jeremiah chapter 52. Jeremiah 52. Jeremiah 52. Pick it up in verse 1. These are the last two guys. This is all we got left. And Jeconiah cannot do it. Right? The Messiah got to come through Solomon, through one of these guys, man. We already done got rid of one. We down to the last person. Now how wicked Israel was. Satan had completely corrupted Israel to such a degree that the Messiah couldn't even